Welcome to another edition of our training videos for the Eagle Project, and this session is going to be on security. We've got Steve Wise here with us, and he is going to describe some of the duties that he has to do, because at some point you may be asked to help augment the security detail. So you may be asked to stay overnight. If you volunteer to do that, if you want to do that, you can do that. Some of the things that he is going to describe are the bed check-in sheets, how to look at the cameras, what he needs to have the overnight and morning volunteers do in the kitchen. So Steve, I will give it to you.
Alright, so at the beginning of the shift, we do a bed check, make sure everybody's in their beds, men's and women's. Make sure we have the right number of people on the bed sheet that checked in, tally it all up and all that. And then we settle in for the night. Periodically, like once an hour, we go back and make a walkthrough to see what's going on in the back. If you hear any noises, you gotta get up and go check them out. And discreetly go in the ladies' area if you have to, which isn't fun. We sit here at night, check the cameras. We have cameras all throughout the building to see things that I can't see all the time. So
Now, what do you do, Steve, if you need somebody to check into, like, the ladies' room? Do you get one of the women to do that, or?
most of the times I do, or sometimes I gotta go in myself, And it's great to have women overnight people, but they're few and far between. It's nice to have awake overnight people, but we very rarely have that too. But just you, but a few others. But so most of the nights are nice and quiet and don't have a lot to do. Get breakfast ready in the morning. The breakfast people come in to help with breakfast around 5:30. The overnight gets up around 5:30 to help with breakfast and get everybody up at 6 and out the door by 7, and everybody's happy. Just a reminder, we don't always leave here at 7 o'clock. Sometimes it's quarter after 7:30. So if your breakfast help or your overnight person has to leave to go to work, you need to have 2 bodies here at all times, the staff and one other person, while there's still people in the building. Alright, in the morning we fill up the coffee pot full. Usually the staff does it, sometimes the volunteers do it at night. Get the coffee ready, but you can only plug one coffee pot in and outlet at a time. So you plug the big one in there, and then you plug the hot water in back here. And then once they're all up, the coffee's done percolating and all that, you can plug 2 pots out there in the dining room at the same place. That doesn't matter. Alright, so here are the panel boxes. And the kitchen breaker is in one of these receptacles in here in one of these panel boxes. Kitchen receptacle. 47. So you just trip the breaker and go back into the kitchen and see if you got power. It's not in that. It's either in this panel or that panel. I forget which one it's marked now. But everything in here, if you trip a breaker, is in these panel boxes. So see the staff person or the coordinator to assist you in getting the power back on. Doesn't happen a lot, but it does happen. So in the morning when we're leaving, we make sure we turn off the lights and the fans over top the stove. Make sure the gas stoves are off if you cooked a hot breakfast. Make sure we turn all 3 buttons off on the dishwasher, the fan, the heater, and the dishwasher here on the way out before we go out. The coordinator and the staff does that together to make sure it gets done in case somebody forgets it. Making sure the steam tables are off if you cook a hot breakfast. This is the first aid kit. It has everything in here we need for minor repairs. Here's the Sharpie box for diabetics and all that to put their needles in, which is in the first aid cabinet. This is the maintenance cabinet to do some minor repairs if we need to in an emergency. And the key is in the desk drawer. Or, yeah, for that. So, see the staff member or coordinator, we can find that out. Alright, now we're walking over here to the AED, which has been used a few times by me and a few others. And also the Narcan is in here. If somebody goes out and you need extra Narcan, it's in the bottom of the box. AED is very simple to use. 2 pads, follow the directions, turn it on, it tells you to zap or not to zap. In the meantime, you're calling 911 to get somebody here to help you.
Okay.
All right. In the morning, by 6:45, I'm back here walking through, making sure everybody's up, checking the beds, getting people up, making sure everybody's healthy, getting them out towards the door. So if somebody needs to be woke up and are not up, we just bump the bed a little or whatever, never touch them. And ask them to get up, and it's telling them it's time to go. We can walk through here if you want. We check all the corners and we check the bathrooms. And check the stalls to make sure nobody's hiding anywhere in here. Make sure we pull the shower curtains back and make sure nobody's hiding in the showers. And you really have to check with heavy blankets that nobody's underneath the blankets covered up. Because there's been times that somebody's been covered up in a blanket and you don't think anybody's there. You gotta check the laundry room, which is usually always locked, and nobody should be in there in the morning. And the same procedure goes with the ladies. You know, we don't go in there and walk in the morning too much, but we knock on the door a couple times to make sure everybody's up and moving. When we got everybody up and moving towards the door, we turn out the lights. Make sure all the lights are out. We check the stairwells the whole way up to the 5th floor and the whole way down to the bottom to make sure nobody's hiding out there. We check the elevators to make sure nobody's in the elevator when they're not supposed to be. We check the cubby holes and everywhere where somebody might decide to camp out for a little while. So if you need emergency numbers for the non-emergency number for the fire and EMS is posted there, or 911. There's a list of taxis here. If somebody asked in the morning they need a taxi to go somewhere or to the hospital, you know, send them in a taxi and don't waste the money for an ambulance. So all that, these numbers are at the front desk. And of course the address is 140 West Franklin Street, Reach in the rear.
We want to thank Steve for letting us know exactly what security does. And again, this is probably not a position that you're going to need to be doing. What we wanted to do was to let you know that security is out here doing a bunch of stuff while your overnight or morning volunteer is in the kitchen. Security is not the relief for your overnight person. So if your overnight person leaves and leaves security, now security is doing 2 jobs, one of which you have volunteered to do. So we want to thank Steve for helping us with the video. And anything else?
No, I think that's about it.
And that should do it. Thanks for
That's all,
watching,
folks.
and thanks for helping with Dalton's Eagle project.